Well, what you're looking at, these are old climbing anchors. What I'm going to show you today is the Red Roper Guidebook from Yosemite. I use the Red Roper Guidebook as kind of like a Bible. Every day I got to read a Bible verse out of the Roper Guide. So let's get started. So we'll start with Arch Rock. Just thumb through it. Cat Pinnacle, Beverly's Tower, 1959, Warren Harding. These anchors right here were taken off of the old aid line at Stony Point. Glenn Dawson, 1950. So you can see they use nails, hex heads, 5/16. So let's go back to Arch. Some pictures of the boys. My grandpa was going to Yosemite in 1950 and he remembers seeing climbers up on these El Capitan. I would imagine it was these guys. Chalkstone Chimney, Arch Rock. Now we're going to go to El Capitan. The Gully, 1905. Charles Bailey was killed in a fall near the upper portion of this climb. Wow, see some history right there. You can see that this book is still in good condition. This is one of the first guidebooks in Yosemite that they were publishing. Steve Roper had sent along with his climbing buddies and said, "Oh, here you go." So I appreciate this, Steve, for putting this book together. I'm just showing you that these old pins and stuff and anchors were from this era. Old school climbing. Soul climbing is kind of how I refer to it. Eagle Peak, Lower Middle, Michael's Ledge, the Three Brothers. The arrowhead, the fin. Some more pictures. The Yosemite Hard-On. Just kidding, that's Lost Arrow Spire. Here's the, that's the current big wall book that I use. That's some other time. If the camera's a little shaky, it's because I just had a soda. And the sodas make me a little... Now we're at the Washington Column. Royal Arches. There's a route on the Royal Arches that I want to do. Let's see if we can find it. It's a Royal Robbins route. Arches Direct. Here it is right here. First Ascent, Royal, and Joe, Fitchin. It's considered A5. The funny thing is you never see anybody on it, and I've replaced the first pitch bolts with Roger Brown for the ASCA. It's a good times, 2007. Unfortunately, work gets involved, life gets involved. I can never get back to Yosemite. But anyways, we're at the Arches area. Now we're gone on to Half Dome. Some pictures of it. Good old Half Dome, my favorite. Quarter dome. Now we're at the Leaning Tower. That's a famous picture of Warren Harding. I got a picture of myself doing that. It's pretty scary. Now a little Yosemite area. You have to hike quite a ways to get to it, but I've been up there. It's beautiful. Clean, fresh, soul climbing. Beautiful rock, Sentinel. Incredible rock. I've never climbed on that area. I've hiked up to it, looked at it, but that's about it. You look at it from Camp 4 and wonder, that's about it. I've climbed the cathedral spire. I did that one in 1996. It was beautiful. Never been on a spire before. So make sure we get this book in the sunlight so you guys can read it nice and clean and clear. Oh, look at that, Bob Camps. Back to the Stony Point bolts. That's the Bob Camps era. Another famous rock climber. Local Stony Point turned Yosemite badass rock climber, soul climber. This cathedral. Never done anything on cathedral. So every morning I read one of these passages out of the Red Roper Guide. Starts my day off. If I go climbing that day, it makes it even better. The gun sight. That's a cool spot. I've been up there. It does look like a gun sight. I want to do the turret route. Now we're back at the Leaning Tower. Well, that concludes the Red Roper Guide. Like I said, I got some bolts from Glenn Dawson. Pulled them, replaced his route. Stuff like that is kind of the material, the hardware you'd come across if you were one of these guys in the guidebook. I think it just says like pitons and nuts. They don't even have cams. So anyways, I read the Roper Guidebook once a day to remind me of the forefathers of rock climbing and the real soul climbers. Real soul climbers. Peace out.